Hey, everybody on TikTok, how are you? Hope everyone's doing well. Great. Welcome, everyone on Facebook and YouTube. How are you guys? Okay. If you could give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. That would be super helpful. I'm going to give this a second for a few people to tune in. Right. And you guys can start posting your questions. This is my bi-weekly Ask Ivy show where I take your personal questions and I deliver out messages from spirit. That noise is my stomach. I am starving. I am fasting. I am dying, is how that feels. All right. So go ahead, start posting your questions. And my adorable producer, Wesley, will be taking them as spirit guides him to. Couple quick announcements. Oh my God, my stomach is so loud. I am so hungry. Fasting is just a part of life, I think. If you're going to be living in like an area like New York where you've got 7-8 months of winter, you know you're not going to be outside working out the way you were. You're going to have to cut corners somewhere. So I'm not messing around. I don't want to gain back all the COVID weight. Okay. All right. I think I'm coming down with something, so bear with me here. All right. A couple quick announcements while you guys tune in and start posting your your questions. Joelle says, how long do I do the fasting for? So I came up with a system that works really well. I used to be a personal trainer and I used to train in particular women after they had the baby. And so I had created the system, but back then fasting was not popular. You know, I was being told I was doing it wrong, but it works. And now it's this big thing. I do a 12-hour fasting on some days, 16 on others, and I do 2 days back to back of 24, which is really, really difficult. But it works like a charm, and then I don't have to worry about it, you know? All right. So couple quick announcements. I am currently running a sale for Halloween. It expires on Halloween, October 31st. That's 20% off all readings with me, parties and events that you book with me, classes for the entire Ivy League Psychic Academy. So if you guys were thinking of getting in on the Psychic Mediumship course, either the current class that just started, or we just opened up registration for the winter term, which is going to be January. Thank you, Wesley. Psychic Mediumship course starts January 23rd. And all the other classes. Okay. So that's a huge discount. 20% off. So I think there's a code that goes with it, and you can go onto the website, ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com or ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com. That's above or below in the description box, depending on where you are tuning in to take advantage of that. I'm also running a sale, 20% off again, just for Halloween, up until Halloween, where you can get a discount on the haunted sleepover experience here at my 1882 Victorian Funeral Home, the headquarters for ILPA. And so you guys can book up to 25 people in your party. You have to have a minimum of 4, but up to 25, and you get to stay the night. It's awesome. Started booking it up today. Looking forward to it. I've also opened up this place as an Airbnb, so that's very exciting. I'm not running a sale on that. But you can also basically purchase now, book later is how all of my sales work, no matter when I'm running them. So you can buy something and then just have a credit if you want to use it throughout the year. So check it out. Also, my master class, long time coming. I am running a master class for the psychic mediumship students. So if you want to learn more about your psychic, mediumistic, and empathic abilities, you may want to check out the class. If you have not taken the Psychic Mediumship course through me. Some of the things that I'm talking about in the curriculum could be a bit over your head, but this is open to everybody. So check it out. We start October 20th. So that is going to run every Thursday for 6 weeks, 7 p.m. Eastern. You could do video download. You could do in person here at the Academy, or you could do online, okay, with us. So exciting stuff. Ton of other things going on. The Psychic Mediumship Course raffle is now open. Registration's open. Starting my tours throughout America in November, starting with Naples, Florida, then Savannah. Then we've got Georgia, then we got New Orleans and Texas, and on we go. I'm doing New Zealand in 2024. So check it out. If you want to book me for a gig, wherever you live, go ahead, go onto the website and let's get that booked. All right. So it looks like we have a few people tuned in and like my audio and everything is working. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay. Welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak. This is the bi-weekly Ask Ivy show where I take your personal questions and I deliver out messages from spirit. So go ahead and start posting them now if you haven't already done so. Donations are appreciated, but not required. My adorable producer, Wesley, will be taking the questions as he sees fit, as spirit guides him to. And we do appreciate an attitude of gratitude here. If you get nasty or bossy with him, if you are greedy and whiny, we're going to jump right on over you. I assure you, donation or no donation. All right. So we don't handle that kind of attitude here. So be grateful, go ahead and post, include names of anyone that you're referring to. That's super important. So if you're asking about a lover, if you're asking about a job, if you have a deceased loved one in spirit you want to speak to, give me the first name. Speeds up the process so that I can get onto your neighbor faster. This is not reflective of an actual reading with me because I'm trying to do these in 3 minutes or less. So if you want to book a real reading with me, you can go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com, or an event, you can do that there. Please, everybody give this video a thumbs up. And subscribe. If you want to become a member here on YouTube, you can hit the join button to look at the 3 different tier options for all kinds of extras and bonuses. And comments are appreciated to keep this moving in the algorithm. Okay, looks good. Wes, if you're ready to go ahead and get started, let's get moving. We have one from Vanessa. What do my finances look like in the next year or so? I would say that they seem to be picking up a little bit in the 8th month and 9th month. And then it's sort of like the 10th month. I don't want to say they dip, but it does feel like we're hitting a bit of a plateau where you can expect and count on what you've already been bringing in. And then it seems quiet. And then in the 2nd month, I almost want to say of like February, okay, of the upcoming year, you're going to be looking at a bit more of an increase there, but it could be from a complete position change. There could be, I'm hearing altering, okay, altering what exactly you're doing. And you may feel like you have your hands in several different pots. It looks good. I do. Yes, I'm sure Jesus is going to play back there, not by the cameras, which is exactly how I like it. So yeah, I think finances look really good. It just looks to me like some of this is an opportunity for you to be evaluating what exactly you're supposed to be doing. So don't just take whatever crumbs fall. Make sure that you are using mastery, a sense of self-empowerment, looking at your life contract and asking the real questions. What am I supposed to be doing with my time? What is my true path? That will end up bringing you ultimately the most prosperity. Okay, we have another one coming in here from A Black. Yesterday was my late husband's birthday. Does he have anything to say? And I don't have a name. Okay, Bill. Thank you very much. Bill. When Bill comes in here, he makes me feel like he's very choked up. This can mean that there wasn't a proper goodbye, and or that he had some, issues, choking throat, lung issues before his passing. But that's the first thing that I pick up on with him. Second thing I notice are his beautiful eyes. He's very charming look about him. And I feel like you love this about him. I feel like you miss this about him. And I feel like you just want to spend some time gazing in his eyes. It's something that he tries to do with you. He says when he comes through in your dreams. So you may notice that when he comes through, maybe there's not a lot of communication. Maybe his mouth isn't moving. That's typical for a real visit dream. It's all telepathic, but you get to spend some time just gazing in his eyes, face to face. He loves this. He tries to do this as often as he can. He says that you've been calming down a bit lately, and it's making it easier for him to come through, because when you're real pent up, when you need a lot from him, it can actually become a block. So he says, keep doing that. He's also referencing the other female, the younger female, and please give out love to everybody from him, okay, as well as the younger male. He loves you very, very much. Thank you. And thank you for the happy birthday messages. Okay. I feel like you guys had a little ceremony almost like for him, you know. We have another one here from Mary Farrell. Why did my dream about the floating in the air submarines and ships that were crashing into the weird mall-type building? What did it mean? It was scary. It sounds kind of scary, but it's full of symbology. I forgot to mention earlier my symbology book, okay? If you want to get on the early bird wait list, I'm hoping to publish this winter. You can go to revivrivera@yahoo.com or leave a comment to get on the symbology wait list. So a lot of symbology in this. Wesley, please leave this up for a second so I can look at this, break this down. So, you know, things that are above us in a dream are going to reflect things that are maybe out of our control, you know, things that are more powerful than us, things that can potentially come crashing down upon us, sort of like a threat. And, you know, they're untouchable in a lot of ways. So the fact that you saw submarines and ships and things like this that did not belong in the air, right? They were out of sorts. They belong in the water. Water being symbolic of deep, deep emotional states. In this case, deep states of distress or trauma. You're seeing trauma from two different areas. You're seeing trauma emotionally, and you're seeing a threat from above, okay, as potential trauma that can come crashing down on you. And you saw it actually crashing into a building that reminded you of a mall. Okay, well, what is a mall? Well, that's going to represent capitalism. That's going to represent community. It's going to represent large mass numbers of people or foot traffic. And so I think one of the things you're seeing in this is the crash. If you're an American, assuming that you are, this could be very reflective of the recession right now. This could be very reflective of the revolution right now, where we're seeing a complete and total burning down of capitalism and the patriarchy and all of that. We are in a battle to end it. It will be ending, but it is sort of like those final stages in the battle. Okay, so what I would say you have here is a premonition dream. I would also say that it's full of symbology because this is a little bit easier for you to process than some of the more realistic aspects of it. But as you embrace this change, that will be coming eventually also. All right. Anyone else having crazy dreams like that? Apocalyptic dreams? If you check out on my TikTok at Ask Ivy, I have a lot of posts about those. All right. Let's move on to another one. We have from Christina. I had a dream that part of my right arm was starting to die between my shoulder and my elbow. Any insight? Again, the symbology book, people. Get on the early bird wait list, okay? Go to revivrivera@yahoo.com. I do cover dream symbology in the book. So we are talking about the power out side. When we're talking about the left side, we're talking about the receiving side. Right side is your power out. The fact that it's your arm, your hand, your strongest power out point being your hand, there is some threat going on in your life right now to cut off your power, because it's starting sort of at the root, at the source, at the shoulder. What did she say? Between the shoulder and the elbow. Okay. So when we see your power being cut off, not necessarily by your hand, okay, which could symbolize you cutting your own power off. That's not where it's happening. It's happening at the source. This could be reflective of your resources, right? Of your finances, of your schedule, of your day-to-day lifestyle. There could be something happening there legally or contractually where you're trying to keep a positive flow to feed your power, but it is at this point debatable as to whether or not that flow is going to be there. Okay. So look at your situations. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have another question coming in here from Nikki S. Hi, Ivy. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Nikki. Thank you. I'd love to know what's the outlook for me and my kids in the coming 3 to 6 months. Okay. Well, there's a lot in that question. I can't possibly get to everybody in 3 minutes or less. So I guess I would say in a nutshell, you do have one kid who stands out as being transitional at this time. This child could use a little bit of additional attention, additional access to resources, additional tools for the toolbox. I would focus there. And I think it's important. You do have a grandmother coming through mom's side of the family who says it's important to remember that when one child needs something, sometimes we can get a sense as a parent of like, oh, this is going to throw off the balance. Forget balance. There's no balance in life anyways. Balance is a complete and total illusion. Okay. There's chaos over here, and then there's chaos over here, and then there's chaos over here, right? It is about making sure that when somebody needs something, they get that extra. And then, it'll eventually switch over to another kid who needs something. And then we want to put the focus and attention there. So let go of any type of programming that you may have in the back of your mind about keeping things fair and equal at all times. Okay. And try another way is how I feel about this. Everything looks good. All right. We are going to move on to another one. For anyone tuning in late, welcome. This is my bi-weekly Ask Ivy show where I take your personal questions. You can post a question about anything, but do include names of anyone you're referring to. And if you could give this video a thumbs up, that would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel. Donations are appreciated. So we have from Cinnamon on TikTok. I wanted to see if there were any messages from my mother, Brenda, who passed. When I go over here with your mom, she makes me feel like heart racing. And so when she, and there may have been a heart condition ultimately or something in the chest, okay, that took over her and contributed to her passing. I do feel that when she comes in with you, you may have heart palpitations. You may have a feeling of anxiety. Anxiety is a really common reaction, physical reaction we have to spirit when they come in. But you may be trying to cope with a lot of your anxiety in life right now. And she's also helping you with that. So I feel like there are multiple messages about the heart at this time with you. And she wants you to know that she is helping you to stay steady. She also said that you're very distracted. It's almost like your focus is like everywhere. And I'm not necessarily saying that you're multitasking. I meant more mentally. And energetically, you feel scattered. She also shows your attention going to the left as well as to the right and everywhere in between. What does that mean? That means that you're looking to the past. You're holding on to the past. You could be finding that any minute now you're going to get stuck in the past. And she does not want to see that happening. You should also not be looking too far to the future in such a way where it can cause you distress or anxiety. Okay. If you look too far to the future, we get nervous. If you look too far to the past, we get depressed. If you stay in the moment, all the answers are there for you. And she's helping you to do that. She's also talking about your beautiful hands, your healing hands. You have a healing way of giving out to everyone and a beautiful heart. And you are also very creative, she shows, with your hands. She wants you to use more of that. She's been paying a lot of visits. Listen and watch for her in the birds, the numbers, the dreams, and a couple songs. Not all of these songs have to come on the radio or through your, playlist. They could just be popping in your head. She loves you very much. We have another one from, I'm not going to try to say that name, something doll_hype on TikTok. Any messages for me from my grandmother, Sari? When I go over here with your grandma, she makes me feel like she has a stoic way about her and a way of keeping her thoughts to herself until she was sure that they were of value to share. And this is how she handles you. She said that she's been watching and observing. And if you reach a point, not when, if you reach a point where you're truly confused about what type of move to make or how to set a boundary with a lover or in a relationship, or what exactly you should be putting your time and attention on, she will then step in and give a little nudge, a little shove in the right direction. And she said that she follows up with acknowledgement when you're going the right way. I do feel that when you're not spending your time, attention, energy, affection where you should be, she has a way of sort of pulling her energy back. And it can get frustrating when certain spirits do this. Our guides also do this. Okay. So I feel like Rema almost works for you as a guide. When they pull back, we can get frustrated because we can feel like, oh my God, I'm asking what direction to go in. I'm praying about this. I'm looking for some type of guidance. I can't get a yes or no, a black or white, a right and a wrong. I can't get any direction. That is your answer. It's that you're thinking of it incorrectly. And so when they pull their energy back, know that that is not the direction to go in. Okay. So she works very simply, very clearly, extremely precise, very effective. She loves you very much. All right, we have another one coming in here from a Mayflower. Hi, Ivy. We lost my nephew, AJ, on Sunday. Does he have any messages for anyone in the family? Thanks so much. Okay, and just a heads up to everyone, you can ask questions about love, psychic, empathic, paranormal, lost objects, where you're moving to. Anything goes, your money. It does not have to be mediumship. So when I go over here with AJ's energy, the first thing I'm feeling is joy and happiness off of him. And he makes me feel excited to be where he is, and that this is like a new adventure, like this is a release from a lot of the constraints of life. And he wants you to embrace that reality and pass that message on, okay, especially to the parents. I don't know if these are siblings or if these are cousins, but there seem to be, basically, he puts them all in the same category, okay, the brothers and the sisters. Let everyone know that I'm doing well and that I'm happy and that I'm safe. And we need to celebrate that, instead of asking questions over and over about what is wrong, what might be wrong, or, why the passing had to happen this way. He said that he's taking ownership of everything at this time, and he is uplifted, and he is trying to uplift you guys. He loves you very much. And I feel like there might be a birthday coming up. There's some talk of a cake. So I want to say a birthday or an anniversary right around this time. I think that you guys are going to be getting together relatively soon, and he will be there for that as well. All right. A ton of love to you guys. He's doing great. All right, we are going to move on to the next one. I want to say thank you to Carrie Watson for the donation. We have a question coming in here from a Kimmy9991 on TikTok. What am I missing or not doing in connecting with spirit? I think that the first thing you're not doing is taking the messages that come through seriously enough. I would highly recommend my Psychic Mediumship course so that you never have to ask this question again. But I think that it's dreams. I think it's visions. I think it's messaging coming from the other side that you have a tendency to sort of blow off. It's almost like you may find these things interesting, but treat it more like it's entertainment instead of actual guidance. I think that you haven't reached a point necessarily in your spiritual development, your awakening, where you realize how serious this actually is, and how it isn't something we dabble in. It's something we literally exist in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so when you think of it that way, you can enter more into a right brain stream of consciousness and connectivity to the universe versus going in and out, being more logical and left brain about it. Sort of like going into meditation and coming out of meditation. No, you should be living in a constant state of awareness. So look at it more like something that is always available and happening within you, through you, around you, instead of in and out, in and out, in and out. I want to say thank you also to an Ara Sanders for the donation. Greatly appreciated. We are going to move on to the next question from Jackie Danaviscus. Hello from Buffalo. Hi, Jackie. Looking for guidance from spirit guides on fertility and career. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pick one or the other because I got 3 minutes or less. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with fertility on this one. I feel like you may be trying and trying, sort of treading water a little bit. And I think it's important to understand that when we are trying to bring children through, your timeline means nothing to them. When you were deciding to come to Earth, you didn't care what your parents wanted. You set up a contract, and if they didn't abide by your timelines, your deadlines, your openings to come here, you didn't come through. That's how it works. And so we need to look at the kid contract. We need to look more at how this child and when this child is interested in coming through. And I think that if you take your hands off the situation a little bit more and you say, okay, you know what, in about 6 months from now, I feel like I'm supposed to go back and revisit this, I think that would be more realistic. So I do feel between 6 and 8 months out from now would be a great time. We would also want to keep in mind June, what is that? June, July, August. And just because that is the 6 and 8, I am aware mathematically that's not literal. Okay. So that's why I'm saying take it both ways. But I do feel that within the year, also more toward the end of the year, okay, this child would be interested in coming through. So we don't want to keep, sort of bashing our heads up against a wall or wondering why or when. It's more like go with the flow, listen to this child. And this goes for everybody. If you're looking to have a baby, what you need to do is connect with that baby first. And then you want to say, okay, what can I do to prepare on that timeline? And should that timeline move, because they could do whatever they want with that timeline, you want to stay connected intuitively and go with your gut instinct, not your logic, not your finances, not your housing situation, not the love partner you've chosen for this, not having all your ducks in a row, only that contract and the deadlines in it. Okay, let's move on to another one we have Danielle Dugan. Hi, Ivy. Hi, Danielle. Do you see any new opportunities regarding a new job and finances? So when I go over here with your finances, I feel like you're basically going to be doing sort of climbing a bit of a ladder. And I'm not saying that you're in a pit or that, you have had a loss necessarily. But the idea of climbing a ladder is definitely getting up to a new level. Let's put it that way. And I think that you're going to be doing this for approximately 3 months. And then it looks like you're not necessarily at a plateau, but you're definitely on even playing ground where you understand the trajectory, you understand what this means, you understand how you can sort of build or plan from here. I see that going on for approximately 2 months. And at the 5th month, we have opportunity for another promotion or raise after that. And I think that come the 6th month, between the 7th month out from now, we have a big dividing line, which means in the 7th month, you're going to be looking back at the 6th month and past that, okay, in your history. And you're going to be saying, wow, I am in a completely different place. So I like it. I like it a lot. All right. We have another question coming in here from Ara Sanders. Hi, Ivy. I'm wondering if Ryan is cheating on me. I feel Spirit has given me 3 messages that he is, but he obviously denies it. I, for legal reasons, cannot say if someone is cheating, but I am going to validate your feelings for you at this time and say that you have some trust issues with this person for legitimate reasons. You are feeling intuitively and logically, let's face it, that this person is just not worthy of your time and attention, affection, and energy, because he isn't. Okay, kick it to the curb. The second you have to even ask a question like that of your love partner, they should already be gone. All right. Okay, let's move on to Julie Reynolds. Hi, I was wondering what you see for me in the future of my writing. Will the fantasy book I want to write be successful? So I feel a couple different things going on with this book. I feel some self-publishing, and then I feel some publishers coming and picking up a piece. So what that can mean is that it needs to be written. I think your ideas of success are pretty accurate. I think that the opportunity for this book to become other books is also a potential. So let's just say, for example, you were thinking of writing it and then waiting to see kind of how it goes, and then see if it should break down into a bit of a series or shorter stories, some being larger than others for sure. But, while I do see a novel type story down the road, I don't necessarily feel like all of these stories are the same. And I think that you should be open as you do this to other forms of writing, not necessarily totally different styles like fiction versus, creative nonfiction. Or poetry or anything like that, but more like different storylines. And I think that you're going to be getting more inspiration also from other things that you're writing or outside sources. I would also be paying very close attention to your dreams. I have your guides coming through, in particular your joy guide, trying to give you direction on what is supposed to be in these books and in this writing and when it is supposed to be. So what does that mean? Well, as a writer, that to me looks like automatic writing. So sometimes when I'm writing, I'm just straight up channeling, and I have to also put it in a very particular spot. This is supposed to be in the 3rd chapter. This is supposed to go in the 8th chapter, whatever it is. I think you're going to be getting more guidance on that. That's going to make it work on the market. Okay. So pay very close attention. I would keep a journal on all of those insights for a while. Looks good. All right. We have another question coming in here from Amala S. I have been hearing the doorbell ring early in the morning when I'm sleeping. I don't know exactly what time. It's not real. Are there any messages here? So hearing a doorbell, hearing a phone ring, hearing chimes, any kind of even a ringing like a tinnitus, that frequency that's really irritating, or having a pressure in your ear, it's all really the same thing. And so it's basically messaging systems coming in. It is the way the body physically reacts to spirit coming in and giving messages. If you are getting it in the left ear, it is a spirit coming through. If you're getting it in the right ear, it is your higher mind, your third eye, your psychic ability kicking in. If you're getting it in both, it's both. And so there's a lot to examine here. I think that the reason it's happening for you around that time is because spirit is no dummy. Spirit knows that if they don't catch you at just the right time, they're not going to effectively get you to receive that message, that you will likely disregard that message if you hear it at all. And so to catch you when the veil is lifted between the worlds, that's when you're dozing off and you're waking up. They're doing that for a very particular reason. Okay. You're going to hear it loud and clear. You are very vulnerable to it, and you're going to remember it. So it's working. I would wake up. Here's what I do every morning. My ritual. Okay. I wake up and I get my coffee and I deal with the cats who are bombarding me and tripping me to get down the stairs. And then I sit for anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes with my guides, and I allow for them to remind me of things that they showed me in my dreams. I tap in with my own higher minds and I say, like, what went on while I was sleeping that I may have forgotten. And I ask them to show me what I should be paying attention to that day. Okay. So if you do this like a daily ritual, you will never fall behind. All right. Very good. We have another question coming in here from Dr. Charms. Hey, Ivy, hoping for a general reading. Does Spirit have any messages for me? Thanks so much. You are welcome. Thank you. General reading. I feel like it's really important for you to focus on your relationships and communication at this time. This is going on now in your present energy, and this will be going on for approximately 2 more months. I feel like the next 2 weeks is also going to be intense, heavy in relationship dynamics. And it appears that sometimes you have a way of sort of talking a lot or skipping over what other people are saying or being very active. I think of New York communicators, right? We're labeled as the worst communicators on the planet. But the thing is, we're just really high energy and we are actually listening. We're just multitasking. We could jump around in conversation and still pick up on what the other person is saying, and other people see us as rude. But we're actually engaging just at an incredible speed. And so I feel like that's what you're doing, but what you're supposed to be watching for a while are the subliminal messages, the body language, the stuff that isn't being said. What are you empathically picking up on from your loved ones as far as their emotions are concerned, their mental state is concerned? This is a time for you to give more by giving less, if that makes some sense. This is a time for you to engage more by detaching and being more observant a bit. And I feel like if you do that, not only are you going to be able to give some healing in these relationships, you're going to be able to help them elevate to the next level because they are meant to. You are approaching some deadlines here. And I feel that if there are any conflicts in relationship where there's maybe an imbalance of energy, the give and take is not all there, the reciprocity is not all there, you may be confronting some people and saying, you need to be bringing more to the table or putting more ingredients in this pot if you're going to be sitting here eating my food. Okay, so just pay attention to some things. All right, we're going to move on to another question here from Michaela King. Hi, Ivy. Any messages from my dad, James, aka Jimmy, who passed away? All right, let me see what I'm getting with this. When he comes through here, I feel overwhelmingly emotional toward you and just about you and everything that you're becoming, how beautiful you are. He says, beautiful young lady. He said that you're incredibly, incredibly intelligent. And it's almost like if you go into a situation, you're top of your class. If you go in to get a certification, you become a power player in that field. If you walk into a room, other people are like, oh shit, she's here. It's like, I don't know why bother. I guess in general, he's super proud of this. He wants to he's taking some credit for it. I just feel like you're not only intelligent in the sense that you're book smart, you're emotionally intelligent, you have some street smarts going on. It's like you kind of got the whole package, right? He says clever, beautiful, intelligent. And he wants you to know how proud he is of you. I feel like that's it. He just kind of pulls his heart out, through his words and is giving this to you today. And he wants you to just hold on to it, keep it close. I'm going to move on before he makes me cry. Moving on. No crying today. Okay, our next question is from Chicken Mama. Hi, Ivy. Does Spirit have any messages for me in regards to my relationship with Christopher? Christopher, he seems absent. I don't know if Christopher maybe doesn't have a lot going on mentally. It was interesting recently. I've heard about these studies where something like 60% of the population doesn't think very much. And I'm like, what? How is that possible? It makes some sense. When I look at people, some people seem to be a little bit more fluid and flowy and calm, and other people just they have a lot going on. I feel like he's just riding that wave. There doesn't seem to be a ton going on. I think that what that can mean for you, though, a person who has a ton going on mentally, is that there's some incompatibility there. You may feel like you're looking at him, you're like, hello, is anyone home? You got anything to give? What's happening up there? If you ask someone like that, what's going on, and they say nothing, that may be true. Okay. So that's one thing. But I also feel like because of that, there isn't necessarily a ton of thought toward you. If there aren't a ton of thoughts in general, the thoughts that do come up aren't necessarily about you or the relationship or how he's feeling toward you and things like this. I think that there's a simplicity here to him. And I think that there's a little bit of sometimes lacking in the way that he takes the relationship seriously enough to be motivated to move it on to the next level or commit to anything. Okay. And I think that's it. I think that's where you need to be focusing right now with that. Okay. We'll see what happens. Thank you again for the donation from D. Chris B92. And if there were any other donations I didn't say thank you for, I apologize. It's in my peripheral. We have from D. Chris B92. Hi, Ivy. Does my great grandmother have any messages for me? Joetta. When I go over here with your grandmother, she's pulling on your left foot. And I'm not saying you have anything going on with your left foot. I cannot prescribe or diagnose, but if you do, she's giving healing. The left foot, however, does signify your receiving side. And the feet are symbolic of movement in your life. And so what she's trying to do with you right now, and what she's been trying to do for the last 2 to 3 months, she said, not trying, I have been. I am effective. I would agree with her. She's a very effective communicator. She uses clairaudience. All right. So when she comes through to give you a message, your ears may ring, especially on the left side, a feeling of tinnitus or pressure. You may also have an anxiety attack or random bout of perfusive sweating. And then she puts the thoughts in your head. This will seem like it's your own inner thought, but it's like solutions to problems that just came out of nowhere, things like that, guidance. So what she's saying is that you're sort of trying to work yourself out of, she said, kind of work yourself out of a pickle. I don't necessarily feel that you're experiencing it in that way on a personal note, but there's definitely some change and transition, some detoxing and letting go of the old, some cord cutting going on, some movement into the new. And in order to do that, it can sometimes feel almost like you're a little bit, stuck, or you've got yourself worked into some commitments that, are investments that are a little tricky to release from. And so she's helping you with that process so that you can spread your wings. She shows you like a butterfly, in particular, a monarch butterfly. So she may be using these symbolically around you to let you know that she's around and to get you up onto higher ground and moving. Okay. Ton of love to you from her. We have another one coming in here from... Okay, we are good. If you guys need to book a reading with me or a party, I do virtual parties as well as in person. And again, I am starting to tour the rest of the states here in America in November. You can go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. Don't forget to check out the sale, 20% off readings, parties, and all of my classes that expires on Halloween. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you, Spirit. Have a great week.